Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are here with Centur-ion, the newest deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master, or one of the new decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now, if you don't know what Centur-ion is, it is a deck centered around summoning out level 12 monsters, most notably their level 12 monsters, but also things like Crimson Dragon and the like. So, overall, what does this deck do? How does it perform? And is it worth it? So let's start off with the Centur-ion cards themselves. We have Centur-ion Primera, which all of these are based on like Roman characters, not characters, but like they're Roman-ish, while also being like mecha pilots. It's very weird. So yeah, Centur-ion Primera, which says while this card is a continuous trap, level 5 or higher Centur-ion monsters cannot be destroyed by card effect. This comes up occasionally, but it's also just pretty nice. So this card, just keep it in the back row if you can, and use it at the latest point if you can. So there's that. It also has the second effect, which is actually the last effect, but I'm going to read this first, which says, during the main phase, if this card is a continuous trap, you can special summon it. Now, all of these, or a bunch of these cards have the ability to put cards into the back row, most notably Centur-ion cards, into the back row as continuous traps. So, with this, you can put it as a continuous trap, which gets you that effect, but it also has the ability to then special summon itself. Then you can only use this effect once per turn, which says, on normal summon, or normal or special summon, you can add a Centur-ion card from your deck to your hand, and then you're locked from special summoning it for the rest of that turn. So, notably, you can't special summon it if you've used its effect, or the summon effect, but you also have the ability to special summon it during the opponent's turn, which is pretty good. So overall, it kind of like balances out. You're getting a search for any of your Centur-ion cards, and then you're also able to special summon it from the back row. Very strong. Next up, we have Trudea, which says during the main phase, you can place this card and a Centur-ion card from hand or deck into the face-up spell and trap card zone as continuous traps, and then you can't special summon it for the rest of this turn. Also, during the main phase, if this card is a continuous trap, you can special summon it, then you can increase its level by 4. Now, you don't have to increase its level, but you can, which is pretty useful. So you can still play like 8s and stuff like that if you wanted to potentially go into. Here, we are basically not using it. For that effect. Also, forgot to note, Primera is the tuner. It's also the only Centur-ion tuner at this point. There's another wave of Centur-ion support giving, I believe, another tuner, but as of right now, it's just Primera. Next up, we have a few other one-ofs. We have Emeth and Gargoyle, which have abilities to special summon themselves from the as continuous traps, or put themselves either face up or on the field at some point. I believe this one just sends the cards to the graveyard to special summon itself for free, or not for free, but special summon itself, and then you have Emeth, which during the opponent's turn, you target a Centur-ion card, and then place it into the spell and trap card zone to special summon this guy, and then you can also, if it's treated as a continuous trap, special summon it. So there's that. And that's it for the monsters. We also have some of the spells, which are very important. Stand Up allows you to fusion summon, or synchro summon during your opponent's turn. You also have the ability to during the main phase, to send a card from hand to the grave in order to place the Centur-ion from your deck into the spell and trap card zone as a face-up continuous trap, which does, it puts Primera, it puts Trudea, whatever you need, which is pretty nice. And then if a monster is special summoned, you can synchro summon, but it also gives protection, cannot be destroyed, while you control a Centur-ion monster, and then, yeah, that's basically it. So it has a bit of protection as well, which is pretty strong. But this is the main card that you are looking to get with something like Primera, because it also puts a card into the back row, while also allowing you to then synchro summon during the opponent's turn, which is, again, pretty nice. Then we have Oath, which places a Centur-ion into the spell and trap card zone, but then you're locked into Centur-ion monsters, or it sets a spell trap directly from deck. So obviously we're playing 3 of all of these cards, or I should say these 2, in order to get us easiest access to mostly just the field spell. Then we are playing a whole bunch of other one-ofs that potentially have additional, like, summon mechanics or something like that. They're not all that useful, but they're just kind of additional grind cards or additional ways to kind of, or like additional cards to search with Primera. And the biggest thing is you want to cycle the Primera, so keep that in mind. Then we also have a Phalanx, which says target a face-up card, or a face-up monster card on the field, banish it until the next standby phase, and then put it back. Also, you can banish this in order to target a Centur-ion Synchro in the grave to special summon it and have it lose some attack points, which is pretty useful because of the way that these cards trigger. So there's that. And that's basically it. The rest of the cards that we are playing are the Bestials. We're running basically the full suite of Bestials, -1 Bestial Lubellion. We're just playing 2 of that, and then we are playing 1 Regained. And the main reason for this is because all of these happen to line up very well star-wise for the Centurions. So all of these are 6s, which allow you to go into the level 10s, like Chaos Angel, Baron de Fleur, etc. And then this guy happens to be a level 8, which is even more fantastic, which gets us into all of the level 12s. So there you go. That's basically it. We're also running 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Nibiru, 3 Super Polymerization, which is pretty notable because you can play this because you don't really have much extra deck space that you need, right? So there's that. We're also playing 2 Called By and 3 Infib. As for the extra deck, we're running a bunch of Super Poly targets, including Yubel, the Loving Defender. You could cut this. This is just here for fun. And then we are playing the Baron de Fleur, Chaos Angel, Cosmic Blazar Dragon, Crimson Dragon, 1 Centurion Legetia, which I should probably be playing 2, and then 1 of the Auxilia, again, should probably be playing 2. Don't really have the URs for that. However, both of these are fantastic. Your monsters with 2,000 or less attack cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, if it is special summoned, you can draw and then destroy a monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. And then during the end phase, you get to place a non-synchro Centurion into the face-up spell and trap as a continuous trap, which is fantastic. So yeah, getting to draw a card on special summon, keep that in mind. Again, this kind of goes with the Phalanx. This is one of the reasons to play it. It's a removal, it's big, and this is something you could potentially synchro into on the opponent's turn. We also have Auxilia, which is most likely what you are going to go into on the first turn if you're able to get a level 12 synchro, which says face-up spell and traps cannot be destroyed by card effect. Fantastic. Also, on top of that, if this card is special summoned, you can add a Centurion card from deck to your hand, which is the main point. And then during the end phase, you also do the same thing. Place a non-synchro Centurion into the that is banished or in the grave into the face-up spell trap as a continuous trap. So both of these are fantastic. This one's a little bit stronger for the turn 1 setup, while this one is Disruption, which is also pretty nice. And then we're playing a few Link monsters, Dark, SP, Selene, and Access Code, because, yeah, this happens to be a spellcaster. So that's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alright, so here we are going first. And, well, we drew Primera and Lubellion, which is very good. We're going to start off here with the Lubellion to bait out an Ash Blossom or something like that, and grab up the Magma. Here we're going to normal summon the Primera and grab it to our hand the field spell. You're almost always going to be searching the field spell unless you already have the field spell or access to it. So we're going to go for Stand-Up Centurion to go for Trudea, to which my opponent will go Spooky Dogwood. AKA nothing. They don't do anything. So we're going to go and activate the effect of the Trudea to put it into the back row, the Primera, as well as the Trudea, and then go for the Synchro Summon of Auxilia. So yeah, we're going to go for the Auxilia, which is going to search up a card. Also, Gargoyle adds itself back to the hand if it's sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, which is pretty nice. Now we can go for the Magma, banishing the Primera, which is then just going to get put back into the face-up spell trap. We're then going to go for the Bestial Lubellion and go for the Regained here, and then just put back the Primera and search out a Baldric during the end phase. My opponent has 19,000 life points. Ignore that. It's not going to matter. They're going to go for the Deer Note here, and I'm like, that's a-okay. I'm playing around Gamma, which is why I don't immediately fire my my field spell here. But also, this was the first action they took, so might as well. So yeah, we're going to go for the Primera here now, and then activate the effect in order to synchro immediately into Crimson Dragon. We're going to grab up the Wake Up Centurion. We're going to also target our guy in order to go into Cosmic Blazer. So now we have a negate, which is pretty cool. My opponent's going to activate 2, I don't know, punk cards. And then they go for the Xiaomin, which we just negate with the Ash Blossom. They're going to attempt to attack over with the Xiaomin, because I believe these, like, do things. Yeah, it destroys opponent's cards and stuff like that. So I'll just negate and end the battle phase with the Cosmic Blazar. And then it's going to come back during the end phase. We're going to put another guy. We're going to search out another guy with the Saronir. Saronir is then going to special summon itself, and this game's over. right? But hopefully this you understood like the basic combo from that starting play. We draw Super Poly, which is kind of funny. But at this point, the game is over. We have the Cosmic Blazar to get us another negate, or whatever it may be. I go into the Chaos Angel here, which is kind of silly. I shouldn't have done this with the Trudea. Or not the Trudea, the Primera, but it's not that big of a deal. So we're going to banish one of these guys. We're going to go for the Baldrake. I'm just kind of... I don't know. My opponent's just deciding to stay for some reason. I don't know why they haven't scooped. They're going to go and activate the effect here, and I'm just going to negate that. I don't want them to destroy this monster, and Cosmic Blazar is just going to immediately come back. I'm just going to punch into them for a whole bunch. I know that like they still have life points, but they don't. They're not doing anything. They have 2 cards. I drew like 6 cards. Like they're not doing anything. In fact, I actually just go for the Dark here to go for SP Little Knight, because I don't need any of like these cards on my field. Like I don't need the Chaos Angel. I can just grab the, don't need it. So yeah, we just go for the SP Little Knight to banish the Zeon in. Yeah, I have lethal on field next turn. They have 2 cards. I have a negate. I have Super Poly. I have regained. I have Imperm in hand because I didn't have space to set it. Like we're cooking. All right, here we are once again going first because yeah, obviously we want to go first. This time we just drew the field spell. Yep, pretty much. So we're going to start off here with the field spell. My opponent's going to go for the Maxi. We're going to go for the Ash Blossom. Hip Hooray, you love to see it. So we're going to activate the effect in order to pitch the Trudea to then just special summon the Primera. Primera is going to get negated. Tragic. Not that big of a deal because we could just go for the Magnemite here and then activate the effect of the Magnemite, and then we're just going to also Synchro Summon into Baron and then just set. Now, this is honestly pretty good because we could just banish a monster, and then we also have the ability, well, eventually, to go for this. But for the most part, it's just Baron and Druis and a Phalanx. So there's that. But it's not the end of the world. To the which my opponent will reveal that they are on the same deck. Kind of interesting. But yeah, they're going to go for the Trudea. I'm going to banish that. They're going to normal summon another Trudea and activate the effect. I'm like, that's fine. They're going to go for Primera. I'm like, no, that one's not allowed. So I just negate and pass. I'm like, cool. They don't have anything. So yeah, this game's over. Once again, so their monster's going to come back, and I'm like, that's totally fine. Now I can go for the Druis Worm here, and now we can tag out into a second Baron. So yeah, we're going to go Primera, and then immediately use the field spell to go into that Baron once again, because Baron is a fair and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh card and should not be banned. We also send away the Trudea, which is kind of funny. They're going to activate the True Awakening, which is going to get rid of all of their plays, and then we just normal summon Trudea and pass the turn. I mean, what are they going to do? I have the field spell. They don't. Let's see what they do. Oh, that's right, they concede. So yeah, that was full combo once again on the opponent's turn. You just summon whatever it is we want. So yeah, good game. All right, once again, going first. I know. We also drew the field spell once again. However, this hand is significantly weaker because it is just the field spell. So we're going to activate the field spell, pitch the second Ash Blossom that we have. We're going to go for the Primera. We're going to activate the Primera. We're going to grab Trudea. And Trudea is just going to put those 2 cards into the back row. And we're just going to pass. So this is entirely reliant on what we can do during our opponent's turn. And they're going to reveal that they are on Bestials themselves. Okay, rather interesting. They're going to go for the Magnemite here. They're going to activate its effect. I'm going to go for my own Regained, which we end up drawing into the Rebellion, which is kind of funny. We're just going to let the Trudea go to the graveyard. I'm like, cool, that's totally fine. They go for DD Crow here, which is a choice. I don't know why they're doing this, but oh, okay. Anyway, so we're going to go for the Synchro Summon here as well. They're going to go for Baldrake here. I'm like, okay, Baldrake is a little annoying because I do want this Legetia. We grab Bonds off of the Primera here. What Bonds does is just place a Centur-ion from hand or grave into the face-up spell and trap card zone. So it's a little bit better in this situation just to put another guy back into our face-up spell and trap card zone. So we go for the Legetia to just pop the Baldrake as well as the Imperm so that we don't banish our Legetia. We're going to put the Primera into the back row, and my opponent's going to grab up the Druis. So there's that. They also have 2 back row, which is kind of scary. But we're going to go for the Bestial Rebellion, to which my opponent will go for the Dogmatic Punishment, which is kind of cute because of, yeah, this card. Yeah, it does say can't be destroyed by card effect, so keep that in mind. So they send a 5-headed dragon, which is kind of funny, and then nothing happens. Great. Yep. Reading. Anyway, we go for Primera here. They're going to go for Torrential Tribute, which is hilarious. But yeah, okay. Anyway, I go for the Baldrake here, banishing their own Magnemite, and then we go for the Bonds to put the Primera back into the back row, and then we go for the Druidus Worm as well, and we're just going to go to battle, deal as much damage as I can. I don't really have a way to, like, lethal here, so there's that. And, yeah, we'll just pass once again. We have Ash Blossom, we have the Baldrake live, we have Primera to go into a Baron. Like, it is game over. My opponent realizes that and concedes. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck's pretty fun to play. Now, the biggest issue with it is the fact that it is pretty one-note. It dies to one interaction, basically. If your opponent has the ability to interact with the field spell, or if it has the ability to just negate the Primera, you kind of don't do anything. Occasionally you can, occasionally you'll have additional follow-up, and this is where the Bestials come in handy quite a bit, because, hey, at the very least, Baron Pass is still pretty good, especially if you have something like a Magnamut or the like. So, again, pretty nice. And if you have the Bestial Lubellion, you get the branded Regained, as well as the level 12, which allows you to then get the field spell off of that and stuff like that. So it's at least some extension, which is pretty nice. But yeah, all in all, like, the deck is good. It's fun. It's not insanely good. It's not like going to be top tier or anything along those lines, but it is good enough to invest into. Now, with that being said, it is rather expensive. So do keep that in mind. If you want to play this deck, it is expensive. 3 Primera, 3 Oath, and at least 1 apiece of Legetta and Auxilia are the URs you're going to need. You don't technically need the Bestials. I would suggest at least playing, you know, these guys. But if you don't have the Bestials, you could go without them. Again, wouldn't suggest it, but you could. So all in all, it is a rather expensive deck. If you want to play it optimally, it is going to be expensive, especially for non-staple cards. There's a lot that you're going to need, right? Crimson Dragon, Cosmic Blazar, you know, the Bestials, all of the Centur-ion cards, there's that. However, it's worth the investment. I think it is a very fun deck. I think it is definitely worth playing. I originally was not going to, like, I wasn't too excited for this deck, but honestly, having played it, it's pretty fun. It's pretty nice. It plays on a very different axis from most other decks, even synchro decks, right? Most synchro decks are wanting to make 10s, which I guess this does make, but very, very few decks make 12s, right? A few have like kind of forced Crimson Dragon lines to go into like King Calamity and stuff like that. But even with that being said, post King Calamity, this deck is not great. But at the very least, it is fun, right? So there's that. Those are my overall thoughts. Like, it's genuinely a fun deck. I really do enjoy synchro summoning. So there's that. And having the ability to go into a wide variety of different different like extra deck monsters, like being able to go Dark, being able to go SP, being able to go Selene, as well as being able to play like the Super Polymerization to go into the fusions. Very nice. So, all in all, pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically it for this deck. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like us very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.